everyone and welcome back to the cinema. Today we're talking about episode 2 of What If, and what if T'Challa was abducted instead of Star-Lord and became Star-Lord? Well, it turns out there would be no conflict whatsoever. He would just be so good at everything that Chris Pratt isn't that everything would be great. There's little to no conflict other than the fact that he has to fight the Collector at the end of the episode. Again, I feel like I'm just backing out on this show. I'm not. This one was a major improvement. You saw a lot more deviation and crazy things that could happen, like Thanos being talked out of genocide and being a good guy, which just, I don't buy that it was just with one conversation he's completely turned a leaf. For me, at least at this point in time, it doesn't really make sense. I mean, he's always, his whole life been dedicated to the cause of wiping out half of planets and probably had been doing that before he ever had an encounter with T'Challa. Look, it's just hard to sell me on the fact that Thanos completely 180'd and turned a leaf like that, because T'Challa was like, that's genocide and that's wrong. If we had maybe seen that conversation, which would have been really cool, I would be convinced, but we didn't. It's just, oh yeah, it's been implied and whatever. There's a lot of cool stuff in this episode. I love how far it deviates off the beaten path. Thanos, Nebula, they're basically good guys. Black Panther or Star-Lord. Do I say Star-Lord because then you're gonna get confused with Peter Quill, or do I say Star-Lord because that's who T'Challa is here in this episode? This is going to be hard to talk about. In this episode, the visual style grew on me a little bit, not too much. I'm still just not a fan of the way that the show is animated. Again, a completely opinionated thing. That's just me. You might think it's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen, and that's perfectly fine. Another thing to note, unfortunately, and on a very sad note, that this is the last thing that Chadwick Boseman had done before he tragically passed away. I'm not sure if he voiced in other episodes that are to come as well, if he features in them or not. But still, nonetheless, it's still really fucking sad, because I would love nothing more than to watch a sequel to this episode with everything that they set up with Peter Quill here. This, unlike the first episode, is a universe I'm very interested in seeing and where it would go and what would happen, which really sucks. But Chadwick, man, if you can hear somehow, some way, you gave us another banging performance, which is something I didn't mention in the first episode as well. I'm recording these back to back, that having the actual actors there like Hayley Atwell and Chadwick Boseman really helps sell these and authenticates them. Apparently all these episodes and singular stories are canon and are part of the multiverse and are happening in other universes. So there was potential that we could have seen a live action version of this come the multiverse spiraling out of control, which would have been amazing. But nonetheless, I like the fact that there was a power vacuum left when Thanos went and the Collector filled that void. A lot of cool Easter eggs and nods here if you follow the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. If you haven't, you will really struggle to follow this show. Nebula has blonde hair now. I don't know how that works or why she has blonde hair now, but I suppose it looks nice. Just switch up the character, I suppose, make it look a bit different. Some of the issues with pacing come back into this episode again, and how it's really fast and there's like not just a double cross but a triple cross, and everything's just moving at such a quick rate. And it's, from what I can gather, the runtime really hurts these, because you've got to introduce this character and how they ended up here somehow through a deviation in the timeline, and then you've also got to present a problem and then have them solve that problem by the end of the episode. So you've only got like 10 minutes for each, and then you try to throw in all these other characters and lore, and you're trying to make it work and be cohesive, and you run out of time very, very quickly. Especially if you want to tell stories that honestly this could fill an entire movie length for. Other than a bit of the pacing, some of the music choices are cool here, and I really hope that Marvel can utilize the premise of What If. There are some amazing stories that can be told, and I've read some of this stuff growing up. I've seen the trailers, I've seen the little snippets of Marvel Zombies in there. There's some really cool and interesting things this show can do. I just feel like it's not utilizing its imagination as much as it could. But that's pretty much my thoughts on episode 2. A step up from the first one, because there's some more interesting stuff that's being told. Unfortunately, some of the writing falls a little flat for me. The fact that, you know, there is no conflict at all. Chadwick Boseman's T'Challa just kind of solves everything in the universe and gives everything harmony and has little to no enemies other than the Collector. That makes it a little bit hard to buy into this universe and reality. I don't like giving this show grief, and I don't want you to think that I'm here just to hate on it. I think it has a lot of merit and a lot of potential, and I just feel like the potential is not being utilized. And other than that, the animation style is just not gelling with me. You know, it's like it's good in its own way, but everything that I like in my own tastes, and I like 2D animation, shut up phone, I'm making a point right now, they just don't gel. It's not gelling with me. It's like how WandaVision, a sitcom, it's not for everybody, and this is just, I'm having a bit of a harder time with it. But who knows, it could swing around, it could come up with some banging episodes and make this entire show worth it just for a couple of episodes. I don't know how many episodes we've got. I don't know if it's 6 or we're heading for 10 or what's happening. We've also got Shang-Chi around the corner. I'm trying to really subvert my expectations and go, oh, this is going to be some bland Marvel project that's appealing purely for diversity's sake, so that when it comes out I can probably be blown away by it. But anyway, that's for another day, that's for another video. Thank you so much for watching this. If you've made it all the way through to the end of the video, you're a bloody legend. If you haven't, consider subscribing, it helps me out a lot. If you like this kind of stuff, drop a like, you know? Then you and me can be friends. Would you like that? Would you like to be friends with me? No? No, you don't want to? Okay. No, it's alright, you know? That's fine. It's just gonna make the last part of this video very awkward, you know? You know, you don't really want to be here, but you're not clicking off either, and I'm just standing here, you know? Yeah. Well, if you change your mind, you can subscribe, you know, and we could be cool, and yeah. That's alright. Alright, well, if I don't ever see you again, have a wonderful life, and if I see you again, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I hope tomorrow is just as good, and the rest of the world has a great time, because we're suffering from a pandemic. It's getting out of control. Have you not seen the news? Okay, we are in lockdown, motherfucker. Do you hear me? We are in lockdown. Get vaccinated. Oh, sorry. I'm getting a little bit out of control there. Probably shouldn't talk about vaccination stuff, you know. That's really gonna... Oh, man, you know what? I wonder what this video is gonna be like in, like, another 3 or 4 years, you know? Did we solve the pandemic? Did we get through it alright? Did a country burn down? Who knows? Only you can tell me, future person. Okay, I'm gonna go now. I'm just dragging this out for no reason at all. Have a good day, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.